Hi, Gary Stearman. Welcome to Prophecy Watchers, coming to you from Studio 2. And in studio with me today, Bob Ulrich. Hi, Bob.
Always a pleasure, Gary.
Bob, we've got so many exciting things to talk about today, and among these are some of the innovations that we've introduced, and we have some really, I think, encouraging reports to bring your way about our viewing audience and about some of our future plans.
We really do. In fact, you want to make sure you stay for the whole program today because we're going to introduce a new video that we believe is literally going to sweep the world by the millions. When I say millions, I'm not exaggerating. There's past history that reflects this. So stay tuned. We're even going to show you a clip from the new film, which I know is going to have you really excited. You know, on an update here at Prophecy Watchers, we are holding on for the ride. We're going on 2.5 years as really still a new startup ministry, but it's been so encouraging. This was unexpected in a way, and I want you to kind of reflect on why we're here. Heard a great message in church yesterday on Elijah and the prophets of Baal, and the pastor's question is, why are we here? What are we doing? Yeah. What are we doing here at Prophecy Watchers?
Well, our vision of Prophecy Watchers, Bob, is to be a venue, if you will, a gathering place, a sort of a platform, and I think that's a pretty good name for it, a platform that we offer to the best Bible teachers that we can get connected with, people who have published books that we consider to be very informative, good reading, current events, and we've searched these people out. A lot of them from very large and prestigious seminaries, a lot of them who have just been inspired and have written books that we consider to be excellent books. And Bob, we want to provide that platform for all of the people that we can gather in so they can make their presentations, and you, our viewing audience, profit by this.
Does doctrine matter these days, Gary, or is it just every man does what's right in his own eyes?
I'm glad you asked, because we are premillennial, pre-tribulational, dispensational. I should add that Paul used the word dispensation 4 times in his epistles.
Yes, he did.
And I always say Paul was a dispensationalist, and so are we. We are very careful about the messages that we bring forth, but we try to bring about, if you will, a convergence point, some place that people can bring their ideas. If they have really good ones, we welcome them in here. Like Dr. Michael Lake has a particular viewpoint. Tommy Ice has a particular viewpoint. Brilliant theologians, but they bring 2 different messages, and you could go on and on.
Bill Salas, L.A. Marzulli, Jonathan Cahn.
Yeah.
We really are bringing in the top minds in the country. You know, when you speak of the top minds in the country, I'm sitting here with one of the world's preeminent theologians. Now, he doesn't like the word theologian. He prefers to be called a Bible teacher. I think he's blushing a little bit right now. But I want everybody really to appreciate the fact that Gary is at the helm of this ministry, and he's steering the doctrine of this ministry. My job here is very different. My job is to be a conduit to take what God gives you to the rest of the world. My job is to help grow the ministry and take all the things that the Lord has blessed us with, all the gifts that you've provided to us, and continue to expand Prophecy Watchers. Next month, we're moving from a 32-page magazine to a 40-page magazine. Now, why are we doing that?
Precisely for the reason we just talked about. Now we have more pages in the magazine to share with great authors, so they can come in, bring us their latest ideas. We can provide them a few pages in our monthly magazine, and they come right to you.
The truth is, we have so many people that send us articles and want to be part of the program here and what we're doing. We just don't have room for them anymore. It's just kind of getting embarrassing turning down people who have fabulous things to say.
That's right.
Next month, we're going to a call center that is going to be able to help us take calls on a 24/7 basis. So if you don't get home till 6 o'clock at night and we're not here, you'll be able to call. Someone will be able to call, take your order, handle everything just in so much more efficient a manner. You know, we have over 1,000 products in our bookstore now. And the girls in the back are just constantly after me. Bob, where are we going to put this? Where are we going to put this? We're already considering an expansion of the ministry because we're just knocking down walls here, trying to keep track of everything. It's the largest premillennial bookstore in the world today that I know of.
I have to stop you for just a second because we don't want to go too far along before we talk about some of the innovations that we're doing, like our app. Bob, I have seen such excitement about that app when I introduce it to other people. I bring out my C phone and I say, have you seen our app? No, I haven't seen your app. I show it to them and they say, how can I do that? And they load up the app and then they tell their friends. And how many people have we got now looking at our app?
We are approaching 7,500 people who've downloaded our app already, which enables them to watch Gary's updates, our weekly programs, on their iPhone, on their iPad, on a Windows phone, on Kindle, on iTunes, on Apple TV. Literally, our program is traveling the world, even on Roku. I found out this morning we have had over 10 million programs actually downloaded off of our Roku channel. If you don't have a Roku box, $40 or $50, you can buy them at Walmart. Plug it in if you have wireless internet, and you can watch our program every week for free.
And it's a wonderful app. You just have to see it to believe it. In fact, you've got a beautiful, gorgeous television picture with sound.
The world is changing.
It is changing.
Yeah, it really is.
And we're trying to change with it, by the way.
Well, one thing that's not changing is the price of our magazine. Even though it's going to be expanded next month, we're keeping it at $19.95 for a one-year subscription. But pay attention. Our lifetime charter subscription is getting very close to being completely sold out now. We had a number in mind that we wanted to reach, and I'm not sure how much longer it's going to continue, but for a one-time gift of $100, you can actually subscribe to the magazine for the rest of your life or for as long as we publish the magazine, which could be a long time. If the Lord comes tomorrow, it could be a short time. But really what that gift does is it helps our ministry continue to grow and expand, to go on new television stations, to do things like Studio 2. And I really want to talk about that because we have great plans that are very, very close to coming to complete fruition.
We love Studio 2, Bob, and the reason we do is because, as I've mentioned very often, there's a difference between an interview and a conversation. You and I are having a conversation right now. We're sitting in very comfortable surroundings. The lights are a bit low, and I've got my coffee cup here, and we're just kind of talking. And that's the ambiance of Studio 2. And we're going to have a chance in the future to sit here in Studio 2 and have extended conversations with people who have ideas that take a while to present, 15, 20, 30, 45 minutes, and let somebody just talk and say the things that are on their heart, without any inhibitions, without any time limits. And this is what we're hoping to bring to you via Studio 2.
And those time limits are a killer. You have 28 minutes and 30 seconds on a weekly television program. Most people don't realize that it can cost as much as $10,000 a week to air one 30-minute program on a national network. This is a Christian television. And, you have to have a product on the program just to cover the expensive costs of television. Studio 2 takes us out of that mode completely, or we don't have to worry about covering the cost of programming. You don't have to talk about a product. You can simply sit with a man like L.A. Marzulli and have him share his entire testimony, get to know his heart and where his heart for the gospel is, where his heart for people is. Find out the backgrounds of guys like Tommy Ice, who's been in the world of the pre-tribulation rapture for a good 35 years. We're going to do some other things in Studio 2 that I think are going to surprise you. We're going to have a little, what we used to call Ask Gary. We're going to talk about questions that come in that we just simply don't have the time or the space in our magazine to answer.
And I can't wait to sit down with you and answer biblical questions, because I answer them in the magazine, but every month when I answer them in the magazine, I always say to myself, there's just not enough room here to say what needs to be said.
Well, let's get one thing straight. I'm going to ask the questions, and you're going to answer the questions, for sure. Okay?
All right. Very good.
That's coming very soon. The studio is really taking shape now. Another thing taking shape, October 13th through 15th of this year, we're going to have a gigantic prophecy conference in Norman, Oklahoma. We are already well underway to having this conference be completely sold out. 33 people, 33 speakers are going to be joining us.
It's called the First Annual Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum. And that's a long title, but it has a lot of meaning. First annual, Bob. You're looking forward. Maybe the Lord will not return this year, and then there will be 2018.
Who can imagine?
Who can imagine?
Who can imagine what's going to happen
But
by
we're ready.
October?
And if I know Bob Ulrich, already in the back of his mind, he's hatching new plans because that's what he does.
Well, I'm hatching plans with some of the world's greatest prophecy teachers. I mean, you're talking about guys like, I can't even rattle them off. Bill Koenig, L.A. Marzulli, David Hawking.
How about Jonathan Cahn? He's a great speaker. Brent Miller Jr., by the way, who produces incredible videos. Billy Crone, Carl Teichrob. Carl Teichrob has a forceful, dynamic way of presenting. I'm telling you, and Dr. Michael Lake, whom we mentioned a minute ago, not only is this guy on the cutting edge of Bible prophecy, but he's bringing up subjects that nobody else has ever brought up before.
He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
His messages at last year's conference were phenomenal. Of course, Tom Horn's going to be with us, Randall Price, Tommy Ice, Terry James, J.D. Farag, Gary Frazier, Ron Rhodes, Tim Alberino.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at these names on here one after another thinking, this is maybe the greatest collection of prophecy teachers to ever appear at an event.
Great speakers.
In one place.
Yeah, you just mentioned one great speaker after another. And the thing that excites me, Bob, is that this is a very special year. 2017, Hebrew calendar year, 5777, the 70th anniversary of Israel's statehood. We have a new president. We have a besieged and beleaguered prime minister of Israel who's trying his best to preserve his nation as he can, day by day by day. We're in very, very precarious straits right now, Bob, and this is the time that I think the prophets wrote about, moving into the latter-day wars in the Middle East that are so prominent in the Bible.
And Prime Minister Netanyahu is on his way over to America right now
As
to
we
meet
speak.
with our president. So
Yeah.
our prayers are with him. I hope yours are too. Bible prophecy is something that I've kind of been addicted to for most of my adult life. And even before I got into the world of prophecy, I was a voracious reader. I had an appetite for anything about Bible prophecy. It's just something I think in my DNA that really attracted me to wanting to know the future. One day, going back several years ago, I had a DVD sent to me by a guy by the name of Brent Miller, who I'm sure you know now. And it was called The Final Prophecies.
I'm holding a copy of it right here because we were working our way up toward talking about Brent Miller Jr.
And Senior. It's actually a father and son team who are incredibly talented. They have a company called Ingenuity Films. Well, one night around midnight, I plugged this DVD into the DVD player, and I have to tell you, I was tired. I usually do some of my best work after midnight, but not that night. And I sat down on the couch, and I figured I'm going to be asleep in 10 minutes. And I put this DVD in. Well, all of a sudden, I was just completely captivated, taken to the land of Israel. Jewish music filled the entire family room. And I'm sitting here, and I'm looking at this, and I'm in a complete, utter state of amazement at what I'm seeing. Someone actually took the prophecies of the Bible and did a professional job of producing a DVD that was a witnessing tool. We've had people buy 10, 20 copies of this DVD because it's so powerful.
Right.
Some of the visuals in the DVD, like when they take you to the Red Sea, and you actually see where the Israelites crossed the Red Sea, it's nothing like you could expect it to be. They take you to the Temple Mount, and you see the stones laying on the ground that fell from the Temple Mount that are still there.
Right.
They take you under the Temple Mount, places that you could never go in a million years by yourself.
And not only that, but it's one thing to produce a DVD that shows what Bob's talking about. It's another thing to make it an #1 project. Artfully done. Music is artfully done. The scenes are set perfectly, and they flow together in a kind of an order, and they sweep you along with them. That's an art, Bob.
Well, this is not the amateur hour.
No.
These guys are serious filmmakers. This is worthy of Hollywood standards.
Absolutely.
Well, about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I first got the word that Brent was planning somewhat of a sequel. And I'd never seen Brent so excited about a project since the Final Prophecies. He had another series called Decoding the Future that you were actually featured in, that was a series on the book of Revelation. But just recently, Brent is just about ready to release his new film. It's called The Coming Convergence. And Gary and I watched the first 11 minutes of the DVD here about a week ago, and we both left with big smiles on our faces because we realized that Brent has done it again.
He's done it again, and he's looking at prophecy, at Bible prophecy, from a perspective, a viewpoint that nobody's ever taken before. And Bob, I think this one has a lot of potential of bringing people into the world of Bible prophecy study who might not have wanted to do it before. It's going to motivate a lot of people.
Well, when you see the perspective of where this film comes from, we talk about the prophecies of the Bible. In 1948, Israel became a nation again. The prophetic clock started ticking. But there are dozens, hundreds of prophecies in the Bible that are yet to be fulfilled. And we're watching all of them grow in intensity, mimicking the words of, Jesus, where he talks about these things we're going to see in the end.
Why don't we just stop right now and take a peek at just a little sneak peek at
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that. and perspective is everything, folks. And remember that as you watch the following seconds.
And the skies opened, and fire rained down from the heavens. I witnessed a new leader rise from the ashes, promising peace. But only death came. Now, as the world wages war, I hide as the innocent are slaughtered. But there were those that knew these days were coming, speaking of prophecies and signs, how the world really ends.
Bob, perspective is everything. It's the point of view that's presented here in this video is really fascinating. I don't think anybody's ever tried to do this in this way before.
Gary, this young girl wakes up and finds herself in the tribulation. Now just stop and think about that for a second. There are a lot of people out there who think that the first 3.5 years of the tribulation are all, sweetness and happiness, and 4 billion people die. It's a terrible, terrible time, this 7-year period. The Bible describes it as the worst time in the history of the world. And this young girl wakes up to find herself in the throes of Armageddon. And that's how the film is shot. And what you're going to see during the film is this young girl going back in time and having these flashbacks and realizing that I heard about this before. I heard this in church. I just never believed it.
No, we don't want to give too much away, Bob. I think you've said just about enough already. Suffice it to say that the artistry, the thoroughness, the attention to detail, but as done by the Millers, is going to make this just as popular as the Final Prophecies.
Well, Brent and I talked this morning, and he told me that he expects the Coming Convergence to be double the audience of the Final Prophecies, and I can just tell you, over 2 million people have seen the Final Prophecies film already. You can get the Final Prophecies in our bookstore. You can actually pre-order the Coming Convergence in our bookstore right now. It's going to be shipped directly from the duplication company right to our offices here at Prophecy Watchers. We will send out every single DVD the day it arrives here with 2 free bonuses. When Brent was with us last year, Gary and Brent shot 2 programs. One was called Fire in the Sky. The other was called The Coming Pole Shift. And they were 2 of the most phenomenal TV programs that I've ever seen. You want to just talk briefly about those 2 programs and the incredible demand for these?
Yeah, well, what he's done is what he always does. He takes you to a particular place at a particular time and then sets up a scene and relates what it's going to be like. And Isaiah talks about the earth wobbling to and fro like a drunkard, as Isaiah says. And And Brent then has extended that into Revelation, and the prophecies of Revelation, which describe the conditions that will prevail when the earth begins to wobble.
Well, we've had tremendous demand for those two programs. We finally put them off and duplicated them on DVD. Both of them are going to come with a free bonus with your purchase of the Coming Convergence. That comes on Blu-ray as well. It's the same price, $24.95. You can find it in the bookstore today. We're ready to go. Brent will have the DVD ready probably early in March.
Well, I think probably we've said enough at this point in time, although I'm comfortable enough to sit here and talk for another half hour. We don't want to use up too much of your time. Suffice it to say that we are working very hard on the first annual Blessed Hope Prophecy Forum, October 13th through 15th. Bob, the final word about that conference.
It's going to be exciting. It's going to be insane. The hotel is a beautiful place. It seats as many as 2,000 people, maybe even more. We're expecting and anticipating the Lord is going to bring a great crowd to Norman, Oklahoma. If you've never been here before, you're going to see something you can't even imagine. Oklahoma is a beautiful place in October. Indian summer here. The weather's going to be great. No earthquakes, no tornadoes, no black ice, no hail. October is the perfect time of year to come to Oklahoma and see the sights.
Indeed it is. For Bob Ulrich, I'm Gary Stearman, wishing you a great day in the Lord. And by the way, keep watching. We are. Thanks for joining us on Prophecy Watchers. You can find us on the web at prophecywatchers.com, where you can sign up for our free email newsletter. In the meantime, keep watching, everybody, and we'll see you soon.